Hey there! Thanks for stopping by for this episode of the Industrial Cyber Weekly Roundup. I'm Bailey, and I'll be running you through the most recent news and developments in the industrial cybersecurity world. So let's get into it. OT environments face numerous cybersecurity risks and threats, which can potentially disrupt services and halt production lines, such as supply chain security threats, nation-state hackers, malware, ransomware as a service attacks, and data breaches. Another key risk that these installations face comes from the amount of access and control employees and contractors have in these environments, which could render traditional preventative security measures ineffective and inflict severe collateral damage or potentially loss of life. Insider threats are posed by individuals from within an organization, such as current or former employees, contractors, and partners. They may be either malicious or negligent. Typical indicators of insider threats in an OT environment include unusual access requests or permission changes, unauthorized access to privileged systems or data, unusual user behaviors, such as accessing systems at odd hours or from unauthorized locations, and unusual user accounts appearing or deleted accounts reappearing. Industrial Cyber turned to specialists in the cybersecurity industry to distinguish the most common warning signs of insider threats on OT networks and determine how these insider threats influence the ICS cybersecurity landscape. Check out what the experts had to say over on industrialcyber.co. In the news, the NIST has published a draft project description that introduces the concept of a manufacturing supply chain traceability chain, made up of a series of manufacturing traceability records written to industry-specific ecosystem blockchain-related technologies. Led by the National Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, or NCCOE, the project is intended to provide supply chain visibility from end user to original components. The public comment period for the NCCOE project description is now open through May 16th. The US CISA has called for public comment on a self-attestation form to be used by software producers. After obtaining and considering public comment, the security agency will prepare the submission requesting clearance of this collection as a common form to permit other agencies beyond DHS to use this form in order to streamline the information collection process in coordination with OBM. Comments are encouraged and will be accepted until June 26, 2023. The Health Sector Cybersecurity Coordination Center at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services once again issued a fresh sector alert, warning companies about two ransomware-as-a-service groups, Clop and Lockbit. These hackers have recently conducted several distinct attacks, exploiting 3 known vulnerabilities. So far, CISA has added the latter 2 vulnerabilities to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, but has not yet added the first one. The FDA and the CISA have published separate advisories regarding a remotely exploitable, low-complexity attack vulnerability in Illumina Universal Copy Service equipment, which is deployed globally by the healthcare and public health sector. The 2 security vulnerabilities can lead to binding an unrestricted IP address and execution with unnecessary privileges. The FERC published a final rule, effective July 3rd, revising its regulations to provide incentive-based rate treatment for the transmission and wholesale of electrical energy in interstate commerce. The move will benefit consumers by encouraging investments by utilities companies in advanced cybersecurity technology and their participation in cybersecurity threat information sharing programs, as directed by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021. The U.S. Department of Defense is proposing revisions to the eligibility criteria for the Voluntary Defense Industrial Base Cybersecurity Program. These revisions will allow a broader community of defense contractors to benefit from bilateral information sharing. When this proposed rule is finalized, all defense contractors who are subject to mandatory cyber incident reporting will be able to participate. The DoD is also proposing changes to definitions and some technical corrections for readability. The Defense Agency has called for feedback by June 20th, according to a notice published this week in the Federal Register. The U.S. Homeland Security Committee hosted a subcommittee hearing as it works on the evaluation of the President's fiscal year 2024 budget request. The meeting comes as the CISA has requested $3.1 billion, a $145 million increase. The meeting provided Jen Easterly, CISA director, the opportunity to lay down her views on the agency's evolution and where it needs to grow and mature by 2025. She also discussed the country's cybersecurity posture, emphasizing the importance of collaboration between public and private organizations in safeguarding critical infrastructure. Homeland Security Committee members have written to the U.S. CISA director requesting details on reported plans to establish a new program office to identify systematically important entities by the end of September. The initiative seeks to identify the most vulnerable critical infrastructure entities across the country. The members have also sought clarity on whether these goals complement, replace, or are duplicative of existing efforts already underway in the agency to identify and mitigate systemic risk. The Aerospace Corporation released version 1.3 of its Space Attack Research and Tactic Analysis, or SPARTA, framework, providing a general information page, SPARTA Navigator, and SPARTA Matrix updates. The latest version also delivers 14 new countermeasures and includes SPARTA Countermeasure Mapper. The SPARTA Matrix is the first publicly available cybersecurity threat identification and response matrix dedicated to helping spacecraft developers, owners, and operators outpace space cyber threats. Otorio has secured a patent from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for the company's risk management model and attack graph analysis algorithm. The vendor claims the approach sets a new standard in OT cybersecurity risk management. The company's proprietary algorithm incorporates industry-standard metrics and adheres to the NIST CVSS system for vulnerability scoring, ensuring compliance with industry standards and avoiding the need for rescoring of common risks. Microsoft identified that Iran continues to be a significant threat actor, supplementing its traditional cyber attacks with a new playbook, while leveraging cyber-enabled influence operations to achieve its geopolitical aims. It also covered Iran's attempts at conducting higher-impact cyber attacks against OT environments. The data added that Iran is likely to continue leveraging its newfound penchant for cyber-enabled I/O to keep pace with the external pressure, in part to overcome shortcomings in its cyber threat capabilities relative to the attacks it has faced. At the same time, Iranian cyber hackers are likely seeking greater cyber attack capabilities to achieve the regime's desire for proportional retaliation. Well, that just about wraps it up for this week. Don't forget to visit industrialcyber.co for the full stories, industry news, events, and resources. And we hope to see you back here again next week.